Happy Sunday morning. This message is to start the new year. We have, for decades, done things in very similar manners, in ways where we haven't been effective. Let's just be honest. This is not any one person or association. It's just as a state of Florida has struggled to meet the needs of our communities, our public schools. And we can continue to do the same things by choosing to let other people make decisions, hoping that people will make the right decision. Or we can do something different, something that I believe is definitely accomplishable. And that is to change the game, to start looking at what are the components that actually run the rules and focus on those things. There's a lot of times where teachers are at school and they get upset about this or that, or a decision that's made at the school, and would like to blame the district, but at that point in time it's a state thing, or would like to blame the state, but at that point it's a district thing. Maybe it's even a school thing. That requires us to be more educated on how things work. And I know that sounds basic, but how a law is passed, how a law is changed, it all starts with elections. So we can go through this legislative cycle and we can put forth the best effort that we can in terms of talking to individuals that do not believe in the same things that we believe in. And we can try to persuade them, as lobbyists do the same thing with money and influence that we don't necessarily have. But we do have one thing that they don't have, and that's people. People who vote. And we have to make it very clear during this legislative session that we will vote differently if you do not do the right thing. And the right thing at this point in time is to rebuild our public education systems in the way that they should be built. Invest in them the way they should be invested in, and stop the propaganda of all the great things that have been done and how it's more than what was last year, which still is insufficient, even if it's more. But none of this happens without you, without your decision to be a part of it. So while you're getting ready for your students and thinking of all the positive things that can be done in the remainder of this school year, and the impact that, regardless of what other people's choices are, that we will have the greatest impact possible, because we understand that our public schools are more than just walls. They're not ours individually, they're ours as a community. And they represent a reflection of what is taking place in our communities. That directly goes back to those elected officials and what their focus is. If people can't afford things, if health insurance is too high, if homeowners insurance is through the roof, if all the different things that are impacting the families that are in our public schools are decided somewhere else, and we are just a reflection of it, we need to shine the light on the source. Now, you're probably thinking, well, great, who's the candidate? You might be the candidate. So we have to stop thinking about limitations here, about what it is that, we can and cannot do. And yeah, there is an element of unknown. There may be fear, but that fear, if it is there, it will control you. You have to figure out how to redirect it. You cannot be worried about opening your mouth and speaking respectfully, responsibly, and truthfully to the issues and feel that there's going to be some retaliation. Figure out the process, document, do the legwork, make sure that you're doing the things that make sure that you're above reproach. It goes back to integrity. So rather than snapping at someone about what you want to say, think about it, take your time, and say what needs to be said in a respectful way, but say it. Because until we start saying it, whether it's what our students need in our classrooms, whether it's what our schools need from the district, or what our districts need from the state, it starts with that stepping forward. We may fail miserably, but guess what? We will learn from our failures, because failures will not define us. What will define us is choosing not to act. Complicitness, silence, that is what you will be judged on. But not for trying, not for doing the right thing, not for speaking up. And we've said numbers matter in this entire process. And it is the truth. We said, let's start doing things differently. For 30 years, we have become more separated. We've allowed policies through these agencies that have ulterior motives for our public schools to influence our public schools and the choices that our parents and students have. There's only one choice, and that is to stand firm, stand up, speak out, and get rid of the fear that is limiting you from not doing anything. And for everyone that says, what does it matter? What does it matter if what you do as a teacher impacts one student positively? That means the world to you. That's why you got into education. Because someone did that for you. So when you say, not going to join my union, that's a choice. That's a choice to step back. When you say, if I join my union, I never get an opportunity to do anything, the door is wide open. Again, know the processes, know the bylaws, know the election cycles. It takes work to get to where you want to get to. You don't wish yourself into a healthier life. You don't wish yourself into a better situation. You have to have work that you're willing to do to get to that spot. And when we do the work, it will be positive work. I am no longer disappointed about what takes place because I have no expectations about what's going to take place. There are none. There are just the choices, and then there are the natural consequences or reactions of what take place from those choices. But if you're tired of having to be an annual contract teacher, no multi-year contracts, if you're tired of seeing your salary at the bottom of the country but being told you have historic raises, this might be something for you. If you're tired of being micromanaged within your classroom when you know your students best, this might be something for you. And if you have a belief that life and what we do can be better, not this dystopian stuff that's constantly being fed to us, but the hope of a better world, a better place for our children, this might be something for you. So my first ask is join LCTA. I know, it's an investment. And just like any other investment, it's what you put into it that you get out of it. 2, do not be a passive member of LCTA. Speak up. When I go visit schools and I talk to you guys, you are the best at articulating the realities that are taking place. And your voice needs to be heard. That's the truth. You are the solution. There's a couple of things that I believe in terms of philosophy, and one is, Socrates, the only thing that I know is that I know nothing, right? So we're just going to keep doing what we believe is the right thing, consistently collecting data, reflecting upon it to either pivot or move forward. There is no retreat. The other one that I like so much is, if you think someone has ruined your life, you're correct. It's you. Nietzsche. It's a little play on it, but still. If there's something that you are not happy with this career and this public education situation we find ourselves in, then be the solution. Join us. Work with us. Lead. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be you, but it has to be us. Last thing I'm going to leave you with is I'm excited. I'm excited about what this year will bring. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and there can be distractions, but the third thing I always like is control what you can control. Right? Patience and time are the greatest warriors. That's discipline. So let's control what we can control, do the things that we can do, and prioritize in a way that gets us to where we want to be. If that's what you're into, if that's what you want, something better, something more, something beautiful, join us. I look forward to the work. And in the meantime, have an amazing start to this year.